Well, hey there. Welcome to the Sketch Zone podcast. I am Carlos Gomez. And let's see who we got this week. We got, I feel weird introducing him first because he's been on the show a lot. But Ryan Brockmeyer's here with us. He's here all the time.
So great to be back.
Man, that's a really
That
fun
means
show.
you're having a good time. Welcome. Charlie B. Williams III is with us as well.
What's up, Sketch Zone? How you doing? I'm back.
The nation is. I'm looking for the chat room. Okay. Oh, hey. Jack Kasperzak is here too.
Yes, I am. This is gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Get excited, Jack.
Yeah. So, hi everyone.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hi.
Don't.
What?
It's been a weird evening. So how's it going?
You should talk about
It's going all right.
It's going good.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Because Jack reminded me.
Jack is
That's right, folks. You can send messages to anyone on the podcast by using the Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-753-8248. 408-SKETCH-8. If you're calling internationally, 011-408-753-8248. SKETCH-8.
Also on the YouTube channel, the chat box.
And we have the chat.
Yeah, come
happening.
talk to me. Talk to me.
Just to you. You
Apparently need someone to talk to.
Private talk.
Talk to me.
Even if it's a bot.
Little chat.
Come on,
Send a bot.
come on.
Have a little chat.
He really
Yeah.
wants. He really wants. He really
Oh,
wants.
got it. Old
Okay.
school. It's the 90s.
That was
What's
it.
happening?
Talk to you.
That song came out. My daughter happened. True story. Oh, hey. How's everyone doing? Having good
Good.
weeks?
Good week.
Nice to see everyone is still around.
Yeah, we are still here.
We're
Yes.
still here.
Trying.
I had something. It hasn't happened, but it's about to happen.
It's about to happen.
John Lasseter lives probably 10 minutes away from my house. And he's got a winery that because
Nobody got
what
time
you
for
do when you have
What?
what you do when you have that Disney money is you start your own winery. And I belong to that winery, that wine club. And they put together an outing. So on Sunday, I'm going to be at the Giants game. I don't know if
Sipping a wine.
John et al. Will be there, but I will be hanging out with the folks that run his winery at the Giants game. So look for me on TV.
Cool. Will you be sipping
You
on
got
wine?
on the Jumbotron sipping wine.
Yeah. Were you going to get drunk on
Sipping
wine?
on gin and juice, laid back.
You guys have special.
I got my mind on my money. That's it. I got my mind on my money.
On my money.
He's on the mind.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Just out of
happening.
curiosity, all of us being creatives, do you think any of us will make it to the point where we can open our own winery?
From your lips to God's ears.
You are careful. You keep speaking.
Boy, I'm ready for
like
that
somebody's
challenge.
grandma tonight.
I'm ready for that challenge.
God's is, child.
Back in my day,
Lord willing.
on the whisper of a butterfly.
Good Lord allowed me to see that in the A. I will have my winery. From your lips to God's
If
ears.
you remember a few weeks back, I went to a winery that belonged to the guy who wrote Karate Kid. So what happens? I guess it's a thing.
Oh, because they ain't got nothing else to do.
They got nothing else to do but drink.
I know. Could you
Then they
imagine? Be
wash
like,
the
you know,
grapes.
my
Drink so much.
my
I need
stack
them.
of cash gets wrinkly because I just lay on it all the time. I might as well start a winery.
Just stained with wine.
Let me tell you, if I get to that point, this podcast can kiss my ass. I'm gonna be, every week on Thursday night, I'm gonna be counting my cash.
Don't forget us now.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't let your head get so big and explode.
I'm ready for the challenge, though.
Okay,
I am
okay,
ready for the
Bobby.
challenge. I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of that right now. I mean, I'm so poor I have to drink wine to forget that I don't have any money.
Well, that's one way of starting a winery.
There you go. You can become a connoisseur at that point.
I'm starting a winery.
You can become a wine taster. That's probably a better place to start.
Hell yeah, I'm pretty good at that. So speaking of John Lasseter, I read this today. Looks like the Disney Museum is going to be inducting Mr. Lasseter into their
As they should.
family museum.
Why did it take them so long?
As they should.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they don't have their own Hall of Fame thing. What did you look into? Like, what the criteria is? Is it like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I believe it's you have to wait. It's got to be 25 years after your first release.
You have to make Disney an ass load of money.
There's a dollar amount goal that you need to make.
That Toy Story 2 turn. You're not quite there yet, John. Keep going. Keep going.
That's why they're doing Toy Story 4.
Give me 8 more. I need you to make Woody cry.
but are there criteria?
Could you imagine if Woody popped out of a toy box and said, "I'm a real boy"?
And it'd be like, wait a minute. Wrong show. Sorry.
My fault, y'all.
Then just
and then Disney sues itself.
Yes.
Not understanding that it already owns everything.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great premise for a movie.
Yeah. He gets sentenced to the attic. Go get in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Man, this is all sorts of cross. Oh, good lord.
This is so stupid. Oh, I can't. What's in the box? Woody's there, like screaming. And John Lasseter.
Woody's decapitated head just spins around.
He's like in the box. And Woody's like, "What's in the box?" Oh, man, Jack, you should
That's too good.
You should animate that, Jack. Just outside of work. Just
Yeah.
you just send it
In your spare time.
You don't have to give it to anybody else. Just send it to me.
So it says here, Lasseter is a pioneer of computer animation and the driving force behind the creation of Pixar Animation Studios. He has co-written, directed, and co-directed many of Pixar's acclaimed films, including Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Cars 2, Cars 3, The Traffic Jam, Cars 4, Now We Can Fly,
Cars 5, electric.
Tesla,
Cars.
Electric
Cars
Boogaloo.
5. You beat me to it.
Cars 6, self-driving. Get the hell out of here. Cars 7.
Now we're Tesla.
Why are we still talking about cars?
Tesla the savior.
Well, good for him. Good old
He
John.
was given Chief Creative Officer post overseeing both animation studios, both Disney and Pixar, and serving as executive producer on all of the animated films.
I would like to see how he does that, because I think all the making ofs that I've seen, I don't ever see him, or maybe the last one did show it. I don't ever see him crossing the pond, if you will. Like, does he spend half his time at Disney, half his time at Pixar? Is like, how involved is he with both studios? Like, how do you juggle your day with that type of deal?
I think
I can't remember if there's.
I think he spends a lot of time in LA. And a couple of his kids, one of which is somewhat of a friend of mine. They all live down there. Not the kids live down there. He goes down there quite a bit, and so I think it's basically he shows up, and he just touches the things that he likes and pushes the things that he doesn't, and he just keeps moving.
Yeah, I mean when you get to executive level that high, like you don't have the time to be super involved with every project, but you're the kingmaker for sure. You get the final say on a lot of stuff.
What do you guys think since Disney officially took over Pixar? Have you noticed any changes?
Yes.
And yeah. I don't want to go immediately and just start saying, but
however, I think there were some changes. There were some obvious quality changes at Pixar even before the buyout when things were starting to bubble.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pixar's recent endeavors have been subpar for sure, and I think his departure and the team disbursement in general, it was a big part of that.
Yeah.
That said, I also know a lot of people who've worked there. I've interviewed there a couple times, and I've heard they don't treat their employees that well. This is hearsay, caveat, Sketch Zone Nation. Don't go complaining on the board. I haven't worked there, but I have heard that they don't value their employees like some of the other studios do, mainly because they don't have to. That it's so sought after. I mean, obviously that's an exception. If you're one of the amazing animators, you get treated like a royalty, but in general, I think it's not quite as great of a working condition as it once was, and that they make it appear in all the making of videos. So
because they know I can fill your spot.
Yeah.
People are kind of how they treat artists in the game industry. I mean, fill your spot because everybody wants to be sitting where you.
Everybody wants to work. I mean, still to this day, even people knowing that they may not get paid nearly as well as other studios, they say, I don't care, it's Pixar. Like they want that on their resume.
Yeah. Would you guys ever take that shot?
Yep.
I was gonna say I would do it for a minute.
It's kind of like working at Apple and the higher up, like being an Apple designer. Like what happens when you leave? Well, you do what you want.
Right. Or, I always like to throw out there. Yeah, I used to work at Apple. People be like, "Yeah, really?" I'm like, "Store."
Well, you did. Leave that part out.
I was a genius.
I was working at the Apple Store when I was going to school.
I worked on the iPhone.
Did you guys see the new Apple Store that's being built along Chicago River?
So cool.
Yeah, why do we need another? That's a new one. Like, we got another one? So are they closing down the other one?
I haven't heard, but they would be awfully close to each other if they kept them open. So,
but this one is crazy cool.
Yeah, it's going to be like one of their
on the river
flagship stations.
Oh, so it's like overlooking. Like when you come in, you just see the river in the back of the store or something.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
It's like all the glass. The roof. Go ahead.
The roof looks like a MacBook Pro. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
You have me cuss like, what are you talking about?
When the door
do a Google image search.
What? Come on.
Or Apple Store Chicago. New Apple Store Chicago.
Here, I'm putting a link here for.
Oh my God! It literally does. That's so weird. That's weird.
Serious?
Bananas.
It's like on the river. Huh.
What area is that, Ryan? On the river? Is that like a train?
It's just east of Michigan.
It's right by Trump Tower.
Yep, that's right. But yep. No, it's farther
closer to the
farther
lake.
east. It's right by the Wrigley Building and the Tribune Tower.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No. They actually
Oh, wow, that's right
made they made a couple of the Batman movies
They did.
across the street from this.
Yeah, Nolan
Or across-
loves that
across the
Chicago
river.
stuff.
Not anymore. We just putting all type of stuff on the river now.
Yeah.
How many buildings have we got right on the river now? Weird
No.
shaped buildings, you know.
Yeah, enough. And now
What's
they
that
got
other- yeah.
now they got that little lower section that there's putting restaurants and stuff down there now.
It looks really nice.
Yeah.
You know, funny enough, living in Northern Illinois my whole life, Chicago for like 20 years, a little over now. I had never taken the architecture tour until
I have not yet either.
until like a month ago, and it was really really cool. So I suggest
Keep hearing that.
anybody to do
It
that.
is cool. It's really yeah.
I need to
But the
try
one
it.
thing that you will learn is that building was designed by the architecture firm in New York. That building was designed in architecture firm from New York. That one there was from New York.
Stop
And
hating. Stop hating.
I'm not hating. Like, that was the one thing that stood out to me. Like, okay, so we have all this wonderful architecture. Why is 80% of it designed in New York?
New York did it first. We're the second city. We get the hand-me-downs.
For the record,
That's what I think.
that's not why it's called Second City.
That's true.
That's a play on words. I know that's not why it's called Second City.
But you're propagating a myth, Charlie. Get it right.
Hey,
People don't want to hear your lies, Charlie.
they want to hear you talk about New York, Carlos.
Fake news. Fake news.
I'm just saying, I'm a proud Chicagoan, but don't go to on this architecture tour. I've done it 3 times and it's fantastic every time. But don't go thinking that this wonderful building. You're gonna hear the words New York quite a bit.
I like the. I haven't did the architectural tour, and I just went down to that part of downtown, like off the river. We had an employee party down there at one of the tiki spots, so it was kind of nice. So you pass all those boats and stuff that where they give the tours. But the one things I would recommend if you are going to Chicago anytime soon is to do the architectural tours on foot, like the houses and stuff, like in the different boroughs. So like the Lincoln Park one is really good. There's one where it takes you around to all the major like restaurants, like different ones. So you go to like like Peace and like Grocery and the Goddess and all these other like little bitty ones, like even like mom and pop ones, like ones like obscure ones on like the corner, and you go in and you have their signature dish. So it's a lot of eating of food, a lot of food you eat, you know. But
Welcome to the architecture tour. Let's eat.
but on the way,
That's what you do when you
that's
come
the
to
food
Chicago.
tour.
You
On
eat.
the way, they show you all the other stuff, like the old school, like speakeasies and all the old mansions and stuff that people, even though they own a house, they still keep it up. So you go down there, you know, have a drink. It's
You know
it's
what else
cool.
is really good? If you go to Chicago, do the mobster tour.
Oh, I heard that one was good too.
That's a good one. They take you on it's an old school bus that they painted black and they got like bullet holes all on it. And then they take you to the different mobster places, all the hangout spots, like where the St. Valentine's Day Massacre happened. All that stuff is really cool. They take you around Wrigley Field. Yep. Very cool.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
I'm sitting here playing around with my Cintiq again. And I don't know if YouTube sensed me playing with the Cintiq or what happened, but YouTube showed me this video of these kids, these kids in high school getting ready for the animation industry.
Where is this?
Burbank High. You guys saw the video, yeah? It was a Wacom video.
Yes.
It was a Wacom
Advertising.
video, and they were showing these kids getting ready for the animation industry, which I have no problem. Like, handle your business. If you're listening to this show and you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to, this is episode 114. Go back and listen to episode 112 with Dawood Anyabwile and Guy Sims and Brian. Oh, I can't remember his last name. Sorry, Brian. But we were talking about, Dawood was talking about wanting to go back to high school, not to go to school, but for the equipment.
You have some nice equipment now.
Let me tell you, I was watching that video and I was like, dude,
it's like Oprah came to the classroom.
The high school I went to,
Everybody gets a walk on.
Yeah.
the high school I went to, we were lucky if we had staplers.
Dude, high school I went to Lutheran High School, but they had, and the best computers were in the creative department because everything else was like the old Apples, like
Apple IIe.
Yeah, so like the stuff I had to, like, I didn't want to do like, you know, newscaster type stuff, but I was like, I'll do all your graphics. I just want to use your computers.
Right.
You had a creative part to your school. Let's just stop right there.
Well, the creative part, Ryan, was the video.
Ryan is like, wait, you had
every
walls?
high school have. I went to Indiana. I'm sure you had.
No, I had no idea what videos were in high school.
You literally never had the whole like school video where they tape all the with the old school camcorder where they tape all the high school games and stuff.
No,
that's not crazy.
Hey, check your privilege.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 'cause that's privilege. Yeah.
We had a computer lab, and at one point I was learning DOS.
Same here. Yeah. And then, or you learn how to type, right?
Yeah, and that was it.
A space, A space, T space, T space, T semicolon space.
Yeah, now I think about it, maybe that is a little bit. Like, we had TV cameras and stuff too. But still, I didn't have it.
We didn't have none of that.
We had it the last 2 years of college, high school.
We were considered cheating if we had a calculator. They
had them in the drafting.
I showed up with my abacus. Be like, two reds, one blue. Carry the yellow.
Kill 2 reds. This is what teacher got through to you?
You still can't pay your dinner bill without thinking in colors.
I mean, that's 2 reds.
He just got an iPhone size.
All right,
got an iPhone size abacus. He just keeps it in his
pocket. You got change for 6 blues.
Yeah.
Divide the green.
Yeah, I was dealing in. I was working in Photoshop when it was an abacus and a box of crayons.
Wait a minute. Got to move my layer over. That's such a bad dirty joke.
That motion blur was the best, though. You just drag your hand across it. Motion blur.
Why'd they get rid of the sound effects in the latest Photoshop?
Did they?
Oh no.
No.
Hey, so
what happened?
To prepare ourselves to go back to high school to use all these
animation industry
for the animation industry. One of the things that I started doing, Ryan and I do a show every Monday, pretty much every Monday night. It's called Midway Radio.
You brought your mistress on this show? Get the hell out of here.
I did. Hey, girl, my side piece. Ryan, my side piece.
Side chick. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I don't know much about this joke. You are not a side chick. You're good enough to be a full-time boyfriend.
I'm only a side piece to Carlos, to everybody else. I'm the mini squeeze.
We need some self-empowerment here. No, Ryan, you don't have to settle for being a side chick. You have all the potential to be a main.
Oh my God.
Oh, stupid.
Hey, so
Yeah.
Such a weird introduction.
oh my god.
Oh.
I thought this was gonna be easy to start. So so one of the things, this is what I was going to say. One of the things that I do on Midway Radio, I keep coming up with different reasons to draw something, to have something to focus on, create something, and if it's good enough, I put it on my Behance page. and if not, people tee off on it and they make fun of me and make me cry. But whatever.
Do they really?
That Behance page, though.
Is that the experience you've had on Behance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cry on Behance. Point them out.
Point them out.
Bro,
point them out. Point them out. Point them out.
You've been coming up with the Behance. It's like it's a nice little page there now.
I'm getting there. The yeah, if you continue to chip away, like all of a sudden, Ryan and I are both have been putting things on our Behance pages.
Ryan's too. Okay.
And you know, we were talking about how if you just keep coming up with things and you constantly create, all of a sudden you turn around and you have this whole big old portfolio that you can show the world. And
yeah, but they make you cry.
Yeah, but that's only if you're horrible. But
let me get up on these people. Let me teach you.
So then Jack, Charlie, and I were having a conversation, and that blossomed into a wonderful idea.
It did.
We are this podcast is called Sketch Zone, and we talk to many creative people in the creative industries, whether it's music, film, special effects, gaming, 2D animation, 3D animation. We don't care. You're creative, we talk to you. But for those folks that haven't yet made it, you know, one of the reasons why we started this podcast was because we wanted to get people a push to get some eyeballs on their work. And so we think that this is going to be a really cool segment of the show. Jack did some homework.
You want me to play it now? You don't want to announce the name or nothing?
I have no idea what we're calling it.
That's true. We don't have a name.
You came up with the segment music, and then after this we can teamwork on the name.
So here's a new unnamed segment.
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe.
Every day is a good day when you paint.
Jack, where did you find these?
Sit down. Hang on. That took the life out of me. Okay, so I need to hear that again.
All right. Here we go.
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe.
You could have stopped that. Every day is a good day when you paint. So that's the theme song for the new segment.
I don't know what's going on.
Jesus, deliver me.
Jack loves it. It's done.
Does anyone want to talk about the idea?
All right.
Go ahead.
Maybe I can keep it together.
Let's try.
All right. Well, it's actually it's not entirely new, except that we're going to put a little twist on it. There's a lot of folks online that are doing art. See, it's good. A lot of folks online doing like art jams, modeling jams, where they get together and they do something cool. They sit on a thing like this with the video, and they both mess around, or all three of them, or a group of them. You're distracting me, Carlos.
Carlos, I need you.
How's it feel?
Where they Dang.
Fire.
Where they go, all right. So folks get together and they work. I'm gonna mute you somehow. We gotta figure this out.
Okay,
Hold
I'll
on.
stop.
Let me get the
I'll
toolbox.
stop. I'll stop.
Let
This
me
is
get
an
the
exciting.
toolbox.
This is an exciting.
This is
first
exciting.
catch
Look at
zone.
you.
All right, I'll stop.
So folks come together and they work on something that they're passionate about related to, the creative art. It could get complicated. You could do something with modeling, music, art, sketching, painting, whatever you want. We're going to hopefully pick some sort of a theme or a topic or a collab kind of idea, and all work on something at the same time. It might kind of cross-pollinate on the next episode, where maybe I'll take over something Charlie did and Charlie will take over something Carlos did, and we might mix media merge. But the cool part is that when we announce a topic or a theme, and Carlos will get a little bit into where we can draw inspiration from, that we like to see what listeners are doing, and we'd like to get them working on the same type of thing. And then ideally, we'd like to get those folks on the show, or at least talk about their artwork on the next show. And it can kind of be a revolving, retroactive thing where we recap what we did last time and then potentially start something new.
I like
Boom.
that.
There it is.
I like that a lot.
You guys are smart.
And it fits perfectly with, we're one of our partners is Chimeras. Chimeras, what is it? Chimeras.com or chimeraschool.com or something?
Chimeras.
CHIMIRUS, Chimeras. And every Thursday earlier than the show, they get on Twitch and they do their art jam or whatever it is that they call it. And so we're gonna glean from that. So what we wanted to do was, I had it open, I just need to find it. So what we wanted to do, we kicked around the idea of finding one of these random art.
Yeah, there's like inspiration sites that'll give you topics and
Yeah, those are
images
cool.
and
I like
stuff.
those.
But Carlos, what's the one you found that's pretty cool?
That's a good one.
Artprompts.org. ARTPROM as in Mary, PTS.org.
Yeah, it's like one of those back in school when you were looking for something to draw or brainstorm. You would come up with a random topic, or your teacher would say, okay, we're going to do dinosaurs on mopeds or something, and then everybody's got to do that. So this is cool though. It's got not just characters, it's got situations, it's got what does it have on there?
Let's see, we got characters, creatures, environments, Charlie, objects, situations, a challenge. I'll click on that right now to see what that is. And then you can contribute your prompt ideas. But if we click on challenge, what'll happen is it says challenge really big.
Challenge.
And then it says, do you enjoy activities with like-minded people? Do you like the feeling of having competition? Does camaraderie motivate you? If so, then you might enjoy this part of this. Below is a list of challenges. Daily. This is some of the, what I want to do is I want to reach out to them. Maybe we can team up with them and see if we can't do something together.
That'd be cool.
So anyway, do you guys want to do like an example one? And then we can work on something. And what we're hoping to do is have you guys draw along with us, whether it's 2D, 3D, we don't really care. If you want to work clay, if you want to carve something out of wood, we don't really care. But if you tag us on Instagram or or Twitter, what we'll do is that's how we're going to be able to reach out to you guys. And hopefully, like I said earlier, there you go, Charlie. hopefully, I mean, the ultimate goal with this is to continue to create, and then hopefully it'll turn into a cool little portfolio piece for everyone who participates. I know I'm going to do it. I think this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like doing things like this, and knowing that there's a lot of people who are following us. A bunch of people that are doing the same type of thing, I think, is helpful, and you can see how other people solve the problem of drawing said item. So with that being said, hang on.
Ooh, you're gonna announce the topic?
Do you guys want to do?
Do we need the theme song again?
Yes, I need the motivation.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe.
So wonderful. Can I make one? And this might just be dumb as hell, and you guys, it's cool, but can we do every day is wonderful when you paint, and then cut it off there?
Yeah, I can make that the end right now.
Yes.
Let's watch this live editing. Let's listen to the theme song one more time.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Look at that live editing.
That's the juice right there. Send that to me just in case.
So, you're special human beings.
So let's do this. Let's do let's do a situation. And then that way,
situational comedy.
Because one of the things that we were talking about is, I think since Charlie's specialty is environments, what we can do is we can collaborate, and then Sketch Zone will have a their own submission. So, are you guys ready for the situation?
What's the situation?
The situation is broken internet. No, just kidding. She strolled lazily by the riverbank. So, Charlie, you have to model a riverbank.
You made him sad.
He's like, oh, man.
Hey, we were just talking about Apple on the riverbank.
Yeah, that's true.
You go work on my water shader for like.
Here, I'll do one more because Charlie held his breath. I don't like that.
Yeah,
a futuristic mechanic fixing an alien's busted space vehicle.
Yeah, there we go. Futuristic mechanic. All right, Charles. Let's do
Boom.
this.
That's what we're doing,
so,
y'all.
Since the rules are loosey-goosey, how are we handling this? People just let loose?
Yeah, good question. Well, first off, what are we going to call this segment?
Every day is a good day. That's too long.
Sketch Zone when you paint. Sketch Zone paint is like a throwback to MS Paint, but different.
This is the.
We may need to think about this.
Yeah.
Put it up to vote even.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That's what we could do. If you guys are listening and you're on Twitter, or just reach out to any one of us and let us know what we should name this segment. The Sketch Zone every day is better when you paint segment. Oh boy. Name segment. See what happens when you live brainstorm. So yeah. So a futuristic mechanic fixing an alien's busted space vehicle. So that's that.
All right.
That's a new segment.
Who's doing what? How are we doing this? We just all doing separate?
Please tell me how are you guys doing this? How you guys just
Do we want to do a separate?
Cool with that. I that's how you want to do it.
Sure, figure this out.
Yeah, let's do this first one just to see how it goes. Let's do the first one. So yeah, Dave Atsey, we're looking at you. Shiloh Gordon, we're looking at you.
You calling people out?
Hell yeah. We're looking at y'all. A futuristic mechanic fixing an alien's busted space vehicle. Who else do we know? Rod Gone. Yeah. Calling you out too. Mr.
Right
I got 20,000 followers on YouTube. Nobody's playing with you, dude. Get out of here. Meanwhile, his Hotmail is just on fire. So yeah, that's the new segment. We'll put a tweet out there. We'll do some sort of something, get folks to chime in on segment names. All right. So one of the things that I also wanted to, well, no, let's not go there yet.
No.
I wanted to talk about independent artists because an important thing happened for the documentary this week. And it's funny that we brought out Shiloh's name. This is all accident. Shiloh, Dave, Rod Gone, all those guys are independent artists. They are out there hustling. They create art for a living for themselves. They and they're killing it. Each one of those guys is killing it. And similarly, we have Ryan, who went independent 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's tough to catch your balance and get things going and to actually start making money. So, we always talk about Patreon and stuff like that. So I wanted Ryan to come on and talk about Midway's Patreon real quick.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's I don't want to say it's a pain in the ass to go the independent route, but it's definitely a lot of work. You definitely have to have a certain character to do it. But the thing is, though, is that like it's weird. It's like whatever kind of project that you're working on, where all things kind of go at different paces and go in different directions and stuff like that. So Carlos, as you know, I mean, we've been working on Midway for a long time now, and it's taken a lot of time. A lot of time, dedication, and resources, and it's one of those things where it's like the payoff is it more in the end than it is working on it. So it's not like we're trying to pick up clients. I'm trying to pick up clients and do that kind of work and do that. I'm doing my own project, but it is it's a long project with the payoff at the end, not necessarily ongoing. But so yeah,
we're not even sure that it's going to be a payoff.
No, I know that it is. It's going to be a payoff for everybody. But in the meantime, it's a long process to go through it's a long process to go through and get investors, to get grants and sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so to bring up what you're talking about, we launched a Patreon campaign, and I'm sure I know it's been talked about on this show quite a bit, but to recap, Patreon is another crowdfunding platform. Unlike Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something like that, where you put in, one-time amount of $20 or $50 or whatever it is, Patreon is actually like a monthly subscription thing. So, for $3 or $5 or $10 a month, you actually get access to a lot of cool exclusive content as we create it. That's the cool thing, I think. You can put up a Kickstarter campaign and say, okay, well, if once this is funded or once the project is done, then you get a T-shirt, you get something else that could be like months down the line. The cool thing here is that you're able to access a lot of this stuff as we create it. So we're kind of like interacting with everybody and showing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and yeah, I don't know. It's another attempt to reach out to the fans. So
is that's the content you're providing on there? Obviously, the documentary is a self-contained entity, but the stuff on Patreon, is it supplementary material or is it okay?
Yeah, no, it's all supplemental material. So it's different things that we're creating, you know, in the moment, whether it's like a video blog or a written blog or you know, an outtake from an interview that we did that we know was not going to make it into the film or some other space. You know, it's like we got hours, hundreds of hours of footage. So it's like, instead of just kind of keeping it hidden, we'll put it out there, and you know, hopefully people want to see more. So
nice,
cool. And we also have a midwaydoc.threadless.com store up now too.
Yeah, we started doing some merch. So started off with some shirts and stuff like that to support the project, get the name out there, maybe give us a little extra funding for different things. Because some things, if you don't live in the city of Chicago, if you're not in the Chicago area, parking is expensive. Parking is expensive. Gas is expensive. So a lot of the interviews that we do, we have to park. And we have to go in a certain location. So I mean, it could be like $8 an hour just to park. And if we're set up for a few hours to do an interview or two, you know, that stuff adds up fast. Adds up really fast. But I don't know. I like to think that it's a worthwhile project for people to get behind, and it's a cool story. Even if you're not a hip hop fan, I think kind of just the fact that it's like an underdog story. You know, telling the story of a lot of unsung people and what they built, because you know, Chicago's getting a lot of shine right now because of Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa, and of course Kanye and Common. But yeah, there's a 30-year history before them, and that's what we're trying to push too. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about anything, you can go to midwaydocumentary.com.
Thank you. I always somehow forget to add the website at the end.
I got you. That's why I'm here. So yeah, check it out if you can help. It's greatly appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So now the topic that
What's up?
That's kind of on at least everyone here in the States. The topic that's been going on, what's happened in Virginia, and super fast. It's a bunch of progressives and a bunch of whatchamacallit, the opposite of a liberal, conservatives.
Conservatives.
And there was a clash that happened in Virginia. And if you want to find out more about it, just log into Facebook. Facebook is heavy with this, but
or look for the Vice.
Yeah, Vice has been doing a lot of really important pieces too.
They're like there, like they almost felt like they knew it was going to happen or something. It's like, well done, just good reporting.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk to someone about what the world is turning into an ugly place, or it has been, and just now it's starting to be uncovered. But as artists, what can we do as creatives to make things better? You know, you're talking to a bunch of people that are horrible, generally horrible at business. We get taken advantage of as artists just because we don't. We feel guilty that what we do makes us feel good, right? So generally speaking, artists are somewhat introverted. They you know, little can be, and obviously not everyone, but they can be a little bit on the timid side when it comes to, you know, starting a ruckus, or not even that, just having their voice be heard. What can we as artists do to make things better?
To make things better, or to change minds, or to
what?
I think all of the above there.
Right? I guess to make things better, I was trying to be as ambiguous as I could, because then that way you guys can pick whichever street you wanted to walk down. Yeah.
I think one of the cool things that artists do is, you know, or what they do right at times, because you mentioned about, you know, being taken advantage of or not speaking up. I think at the same time, art is one of those things that can provide hope and inspire people. I think that's the easiest thing that artists do. And I think you don't have to be an extrovert to do that. You can be like timid. You can be sitting in your basement because like the process of you creating as an artist, based on the feelings that you have, and then sharing that. We have the internet now. We can, you know, we see all the wrong type of videos, or we see all the like weird kooky things that get shared on the internet that goes viral. You know, I think as artists, if you use your art in a way that can inspire people or give people hope, make people think, you know, and that can be done in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's, you know, guys that like to make videos or videographers. It's making a documentary or making a video that makes somebody stop and think and change their mind about how they view a certain topic. You know, if it's an artist drawing a picture, if you're a digital artist and you draw a picture and you draw a picture of how you feel based on how things are going on right now, that can make you stop and think, even if it elicits a angry response or a you know, something that causes you to cry. So, you know, it could be generic or broad, but, you know, I think if you're somehow using your talents to inspire or make people think, no matter what that is, or what medium you use, I was always taught to use the talents that you got to the best of your ability, you know, and so that you can somehow influence thought in some type of way. You know, some people like to talk, like we have a podcast, right? We voice our opinion because we don't mind talking. We don't mind putting ourselves on the camera, right? So that's like the short answer. That's the short answer for this. That how I see it. You know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I was maybe trying to nitpick a little bit, saying about, you know, make things better, or just at least get people thinking differently, or thinking, just thinking,
right
in general, because a lot of people aren't thinking. It's a lot of knee-jerk reaction. It's a lot of, you know, built-in belief, you know, that somebody may have from growing up or being raised a certain way or something like that, and then I immediately go to kind of what I do, you know, as far as like, you know, making documentary films, and I like to get in there and I like to investigate. I like to explore why, you know, people do certain things, but then I also like to hopefully try to make people aware of things. And that's what I definitely think that good journalism and documentary filmmaking still can do. But now it seems we've got almost a more closed-minded, you know, community out there than what we've had. So it's a little harder to get those facts in. And I think that's when probably art comes into play a little bit more. Maybe up to artists to be a little bit more creative with how they do their work to get into the minds, so people aren't just ignoring it, or
like showing them giving the message in a different way if they're not looking at one way. You know, I think just that could be key. And you know, Ryan said a good thing about thinking, because, you know, even not to get into the, you know, the specifics of what happened, but even watching, you know, the other documentaries, you know, the Vice one and other ones, and then just really trying to understand that side's thinking and why they're doing things, because it's so far out of, like, why would you even ever think this way? I did follow-up research on this and start seeing other videos, and one of the main guys from that video, and how he was even like even he was scared, you know. I think there's a main guy that was talking for that alt-right side, and like, but later on video came out this week of him kind of pleading with the police about how he's supposed to turn himself in, and like just seeing the thinking in his head where doesn't seem real stable or is scared of going to jail or whatever, and like how his tone has totally changed from what you saw in the Vice video. You know, he's not this big and bad person. He's truly scared now that he might have to go, you know, might get arrested or whatever, you know, or fear for his life. So it just got me to thinking, man, people just literally, you know, their thinking is weird. You know, there's something that has to provoke better thought. You know, it's just, they feel like they're going to get something taken away. So they're having reactions. So, you know, and then, so that was one side that I was thinking of. And the other side was like, I keep praising the Vice video, but I keep seeing that video get passed around and how it's affected mainstream media, you know, because they didn't know what to say, but they was like, watch this, you know. And I think that's what's cool. So whatever person edited that together, you know, he might not see himself as an artist, but I feel like they do, because it was like, in the purest form, this is what happened. Watch it, and now you'll be able to understand the gravity of what is happening. You know, it wasn't a bunch of like where you want to fast forward through parts of it. It gripped you from beginning to end. There was something about it, you know. And maybe that's what, like what you're saying, Ryan, what you like about documentary filmmaking and stuff like that is like, I've watched so many of those in the last couple of years that have like captured me and changed the way I've thought about different things. Even if it's like a lighthearted subject, you're like, man, I never knew that existed, or that train of thought is very interesting, you know, for that culture, you know, over there, or, you know, somehow there needs to be more of that type of video being made and stuff being made. Something with, I don't know what's in it. I don't know if you can't just say it's the truth, because everybody has different versions of the truth, but
right.
I don't know what it is that kind of captures you when you watch a good film or see a piece of artwork that's like, man, that's, you know, says just the right amount of words. You know, that's what we need. Even you can see it even in like street art, graffiti. I saw a couple pieces being made in response, and that was like kind of cool too. Like, it's obviously well done, the piece, but like, I was like, man, it's just like, just keep sending more of that, and I want that to go viral, you know.
Jack, get in on this.
Man, this is a I mean, I think what's riveting about the Vice documentary, if you guys haven't seen it, just do yourself a favor and shut us off and go watch that, because it's probably a lot more important. It's presenting a lot of information without being terribly confrontational. I mean, what the people are saying is confrontational, but the message and the agenda provided by that's kind of, in a way, true journalism. I mean, they're really just showing you these people, showing you what they're saying, showing you what they're doing, showing you what they're thinking. And I'm thinking back in terms of art, like I think back to some of the most relevant social pieces. I mean, you think of like Ruby Bridges, you know, The Problem We All Live With by Norman Rockwell, and the photo of the Vietnam girl running in the street, and then we've got the soldiers at Iwo Jima. I mean, every single one of those, which, I mean, you could argue that those, in a way, were pivotal moments in each of those social disputes. And they didn't even actually say much, you know? It's like they were just snapshots of things that were happening. I mean, obviously, two of them were photographs, but like the Ruby Bridges one, like, it really was effectively just a painting of an event that actually happened. You know, and yet it's so incredibly powerful, and it resonates, and there's so much meaning there, and you can infer. I think what's nice about it is that you can, like Carlos was saying about how artists tend to be really introverted and not very good with voice. You can say a lot without saying anything. You can make a huge impact. In a way, just by presenting what is there, what's reality, and sort of giving this artistic spin on it. Because art has this kind of funny way and this magical way of crossing a lot of these these human boundaries and borders that we've created for ourselves. And I think that's kind of what it's best at is it you can hit these topics from angles that allow for just enough interpretation that, you know, one side of the argument isn't overly inflamed and can actually take it for what it is and perhaps gain something from it. Because a lot of these topics are so charged and so, you know, so emotionally, you know, riddled with, you know,
right.
preconceived notions from the get-go that you can't, I mean, just presenting the truth or the facts sometimes isn't enough. Like, people don't want to hear that. They block it out. They have rationalizations for why you're lying or it's fake news or, you know, I heard otherwise. And you know, Google, you can find anything you want. Like, if you believe something, there's a site out there that will effectively prove it true.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about art is like, we already accept that it's a painted or created image. It's not real, and yet it's perhaps more real than sometimes the facts, because, you know, the facts are, man, it's a tough thing to kind of capture here. What I'm trying to get at is that through art, you can easily transcend a lot of these, get over a lot of these initial boundaries that I don't think you can as easily with just logical talk or even, you know, healthy debate. I think there's something about the act of creating alone that people automatically give it a chance, no matter, even if it's incredibly confrontational to their beliefs. People kind of want to give that a chance, and it's something there's like something magical about that. And then on top of it, like the way that art is created, often, like, you can use animals to tell a story, and that immediately like removes a lot of like biases and prejudices and stuff like that. And I think that's what's really cool about art and can really go beyond and get to the heart of a lot of these issues. I mean, look at Dr. Seuss. Like, a lot of his stories, I mean, the Sneetches is effectively like a story about racism or about characters that were different, you know? And it's like, but he did it in such like a childish, cartoony, simple way that everybody can understand. And everybody can, and yeah, you know, like, maybe one kid sees it for what it is. It's just the stars on the belly, or people make fun of me because I wear glasses. But, you know, there's another kid in the class that sees it. People make fun of me because I got a different skin color, or because, you know, because I'm gay, or because you know, my mom's dead, or, you know, whatever it might be. And that's the kind of cool part about art. There's a really cool quote, and I'm going to have to dig up who said it, because I just kind of ran across it in passing. This was early on when the Disney guys were screening Dumbo, and they were trying to figure out if it was going to work. And they thought about canceling it many times over and changing the stories, because the executives and the people involved didn't think that, you know, Dumbo was a relatable character, and that he was so downtrodden and kind of down in the dumps and couldn't, you know, like, who really would relate to this. And when they started screening it, you know, and they started asking the post-screening questions, the director of it, there's this great quote where he basically says, you know, I was expecting that only certain people would relate to Dumbo, but what I found out was everybody thinks they're Dumbo.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty cool. Like, people see themselves in this artwork, kind of no matter what it is. I mean, the Ruby Bridges one is so specific. I mean, it's such a specific point in American history, and it you know, even down to the clothing and the era. But you know, I can look at that and I can totally relate to that kid. Granted, I'm white, and I never had, you know, the same issues that she had, and I was never escorted to school. But I see so much of like what kids struggle with, and it goes beyond just like the racial issue that painting is about. It goes deeper into just kind of like humans being shitheads, and, you know, like not accepting other humans, you know, and that's what's cool about it. And it goes on so many layers without actually talking about any of those layers.
There's a few things that I wrote down while you guys were talking that I want to elaborate on, but the very first thing that pops in my head when I get onto social media and I see a lot of these memes. And one of the things that we can do, especially as digital artists or people that are on the computer all the time, we can call people out on just bad Photoshop. Something as simple as that. Like, I'm not.
What?
There's a picture of President Trump with his arms around his parents, and his parents were wearing Ku Klux Klan outfits. But the Photoshop was so horrible that I did an image search on it, and it came up on Snopes, and Snopes had the original picture of Trump with his hands, you know, he had his arms around his parents. And so I took that link and I posted that link and I said, listen, whether you like them, whether you don't, it doesn't matter, but let's keep the truth true.
Right.
Don't start spreading this, because number one, there's people with an untrained eye. You should have seen how many people were like, oh my God, he's a bastard and all this other stuff. And I don't care what you believe. Let's keep the truth the truth. This guy did not have his hands around the Grand Wizard and the Grand Wizardess, whatever they are, or the Grand Witch of the Ku Klux Klan that were his parents. That never happened, because the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to turn and say, see, I told you, fake news.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so be willing to do that. We have the power as computer folks, as artists. We have the power to not only push an agenda or to share an idea, is probably a better way to say it, but we also need to keep everyone in line, keep everyone in check to you know, things aren't going to get better until we make it better. And we have the power to do something as simple as call out shitty Photoshop.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you know, I touched on it with memes and stuff. And Jack, you were talking about this, how basically, what is it? A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
We're at the point now where we as people, as the collective, don't have the patience to sit down and read super long articles and everything. Everything is moving into memes and videos. So that's another thing. Like, and I know, I understand, I consider writers artists as well, because they're creating worlds and all kinds of wonderful things. But unfortunately, the human brain is moving away from long articles. That's why they hook you with the headlines and then they hit you with a bunch of pictures. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being able to create those images. And we need to make sure that those images, again, are the truth. And we need to make sure that when we are creating things that that we have that sense of responsibility to make sure that we're doing something for the betterment of people, of everyone. Yeah, that's as far as images and stuff goes, that's kind of it for me. Like we have a lot of responsibility. We need to make sure that we feel that.
Right.
You know, we were talking about this before the show, where artists have been in history have been used to push an agenda or propaganda or whatever. You know, the big studios were. Jack corrected me by saying, you know, Disney wasn't necessarily forced to, but they were presented a very lovely offer.
Right.
Right. And it's because it works.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can draw a picture and you don't have to speak 150 different languages. 150 different cultures will understand what you're saying with that picture.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility. And then to go off of something that Ryan said with the documentaries and stuff like that, you also have to be careful with that, because you have the different news networks that are serving up it's the same exact situations. And now we can take a step back from just the thing that's happening in Virginia. We can take a step back and take a look at pretty much everything that's happening in the world. These folks are serving up 24 hours of news every day, nonstop. And they know their audience, and they're feeding those people exactly. And we were talking about this just 10 minutes ago, where you can go on the internet and you can supplement your argument, because there's people out there that are thinking the same exact way you are.
Yeah.
So you can take the same scientific studies, for example. I watched, what documentary was that? Is one of those food ones that talks about food and how basically how bad meat is for you. And
yeah, that's the new one that's on Netflix, I think, right?
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but I just watched it like a week and a half ago or whatever, and I was like, come on.
I'm getting tired of all that. I really am.
Listen, they take information and they shave off important parts just to tailor make the information or for the propaganda or for the agenda that they're trying to push. And 10 minutes into that thing, the only reason I watched the whole thing is because I just wanted to make sure that I was full of their bullshit, I guess. But it was so slanted. I mean, I was like, come on. I'm not even a dietitian. I do watch what I eat. I do like to go to the gym and take care of myself, blah, 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 blah. But I watched this and I was like, wow. And I talked to other people about it, and they loved this documentary, and they gave up eating meat, and they did all kinds of wonderful things for themselves. And I was like, okay, can I get your bacon? Right. So
not gonna eat that, right?
Cool. Yeah. So it's like we really have to pay attention to what's being served. You know, I remember always watching Al Jazeera when I was working at Leo Burnett in Chicago. I would watch Al Jazeera, and people are like, "Oh, you're watching that terrorist network." Like, no, it's not. It's not. It's the same way as saying I'm watching CBS. It's the same thing. It's just coming from a different location. And if they were talking trash about us, I want to know what they're saying. You mean to tell me that the Americans are going to give you the full story, nothing but the story, without slanting it a little bit? Take a look at net neutrality. And tell me that they're giving us the whole kit and caboodle, and they're giving us the information to make a proper decision.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take a look at home loans and see if there's no trickery happening there. Right. And so you have to I guess you don't have to, but if you want to be a well-rounded individual, crazy Uncle Carlos is telling you watch more than just your one favorite channel. Get out there and watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
I watch Fox News too. Those guys are entertaining. 90% of the time, I think they're full of shit, but you gotta stay well-rounded and stay open to ideas, because there's been a lot of people walking the face of this earth, and I don't think not one of them has figured out how to escape death. So not everyone has it figured out. So there's always something to learn. And if for no other reason, I mean, I wanted to touch on this with you guys too. With all this stuff that's happening, is there a line that you guys would not cross when it comes to designing or doing a video or illustrating or 3D modeling or whatever? Is there a line that you guys would not cross when it comes to this? I mean, when it comes to anything, would you ever use your powers for something that might not necessarily be like that large gray area that life serves up? How far would you guys go with your talents?
I can't say that there's one particular line like, oh, somebody asked me to do that, I wouldn't do it. But I definitely have my my own morals, my own things that guide me, and I absolutely would not do something that I would not agree with, or that I feel would be, especially something that I feel would be detrimental to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a general, like, I wouldn't do anything immoral if I think it's really campy or would hurt a certain race or whatever. I don't think and hopefully I'll never get put in that position, but yeah, there definitely would be a line I wouldn't cross with all that stuff.
I want to hear from you, Jack, but I wanted to remind you guys remember when voiceover artist Nicole was on the show? Mm-hmm. She's like, hell yeah, if you want me to do a commercial about clubbing baby seals, I'd do it. You'd have to give me that. Oh, yeah. You'd have to give me that money.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then she would try her best to, not club baby seals on her off days or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to just say that there's a whole bunch of lines I wouldn't cross, but I mean, I think given certain circumstances, it's possible. But I mean, there's certainly plenty that I would not want to do and be extremely uncomfortable to do and avoid at all costs. But I also think that it's important to keep in mind that, depending on the circumstances, there's a lot of stuff that we think we may not want to do, and then it all changes in an instant, given, I mean, think about how many people said I would never join the military, and then 9/11 happened. And,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people can quickly be tossed on a side they weren't previously on or didn't have incredibly strong feelings about, depending on something that happens. I mean, I think obviously, like Charlie and Ryan said, I mean, if it's something that, I don't know, man, it's such a gray line. It's like you can say that I would never do something that would intentionally hurt somebody, but however, if I thought like it was helping the side that I was for or whatever, and then it ends up hurting people on the
mm-hmm.
enemy side or whatever, like, I mean, that's a very gray line that it's really difficult to even quantify. But I think when we're talking about a little more direct stuff, I'm not going to make an ad about clubbing baby seals.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't need your money that bad. I mean, and even if I did, I don't know.
Right. I mean, if somebody came to me and asked me to direct a porn, I mean, that's not what I'm looking to. That's not what I'm looking to do. That's
give me my email.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'll be out there with 3 iPhones.
I knew you were speaking.
Well, I'm saying like that, that ain't for me. But if somebody's like, hey, here's $1 million or $2 million bucks, you're damn right that I'd think about it. But at the same time, if somebody came up and was like, hey, we want you to, to direct this video that's going to help, help this propaganda from, from some neo-Nazi group or something like that. It's like, nah, I don't give a shit if you got $100 million. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to go down that road, and I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I do. Because I forget, what was it? Someone was telling me. Oh, because you guys remember how I forget where it was, maybe in Texas, where there was a baker that didn't want to make a cake for a gay couple that wanted to get married, right?
Yeah.
And I said, it's, I don't know. I don't think that it's fair, but I'm not in that situation, thank God. And someone said, what if someone came up to you and said, hey, make this website for this child porn ring? And I know that that's like a super extreme. And I said, well, no, I'm definitely not going to do that. And they said, what if they went to the government and the government, for some strange reason, decided to try to force you into doing that because they're forcing you to do work for these people that, possibly have really strong lobbyists or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's tough. Yeah, and that's just it. Like, what is the answer? Pornos need videographers too.
Back to that. Talk yourself into
like, what if a porn guy is like, I really like what you did with Midway Documentary. I want that look and feel.
Oh, snap. Wow.
And that's a dilemma. Like that again, we have this importance to what we do. And I think that we as artists, a lot of times we underestimate what we do. And selfishly speaking, we don't charge enough for what we do. And we don't need exposure. We need to pay our rent.
That's true.
And again, that's one of the things why we started this show, is we wanted artists to know that you're not out there by yourself. If you ever had any questions about any of this stuff, like, feel free to write the show or use the Sketchzone hotline or whatever. And I know that we try to make it a little on the lighthearted end of things, but if we have to get serious, we will. These are the dilemmas that we as artists need to take a look at. Like, what do you do if the rent is due and someone that doesn't align with you politically, they have cash? Like, what do you do? Are you going to club that baby seal?
These are tough questions. I mean,
I'm not. I would not club the baby seal. That's just me.
Yeah, I would like to think that I have that resolve. I didn't want to tell this story, but but I already put my.
Here we go.
All right, so I was doing some work for a really big. Well, no, I was like being subcontracted, so it's not their fault. But I was doing work for a really big network, and the company that hired me as a contractor to do the project, they weren't going to pay me. and I remember I had to take them to court. And I remember the morning I was driving to court, I stopped to get a cup of coffee at the gas station, and my ATM card was empty. My ashtray change jar was empty. And I found out that my ATM card had no money in it because I went to pay $1.99 for a fucking cup of coffee, and I didn't have enough money for a fucking cup of coffee. And I'm going to court because these idiots didn't want to pay me my money.
Yeah.
So I didn't have enough money for coffee. That day, if you asked me, hey, can you do a website for clubbing baby seals? Baby seals might have had caught one that day. You know? So it's tough. It's tough, especially when your back is against the wall and their bills are due, and thank God I haven't had to worry about a wife and kids and all of the things that add pressure to these decision-making processes that you need to go through. But I don't know. I don't know if I have the courage to say no to a stack of cash when I can't buy a cup of coffee.
Just think, though, that if we got paid what we're worth and we got paid, a lot of this conversation wouldn't be happening for us specifically as creatives. I could live fairly comfortably for the next year with what people still owe me from the past 10 years from things. I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that's unique to the work that all of us here do. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend's a teacher. She's never gonna, you know, we're not even gonna go down the path of, you know, how cheap school districts are and how the government's messing all that stuff up. But, you know, she doesn't have to worry about not getting a paycheck for the work that she's done. If I hire a plumber to come over and fix my sink, he's not going to come over to do it unless I pay him for it.
Right.
And there's no negotiating. There's no, you know what? I looked and I've only got $30 in my bank account, so I'm going to give you 25 of that. Is that enough? No,
I'll get toilet, and if I like the way it flushes,
yeah,
I'll tell all my friends that you're really good with toilets.
I'll give you a good review on Yelp. How about that?
And that's the scary part about, you know, being an independent artist. Not even that. Like, I've been in situations where companies haven't even, like, legit companies. I'm a full-time employee. I get, supposedly, for as bad as health insurance was, I had health insurance and everything, and they're trying to duck and dodge me and not pay me my money and shit like that. It's like, fuck, what do you do? Well, you start a Patreon page.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you do.
It's funny. It's funny too, because then we a lot of us have to kind of live up to a certain image too. Yeah. With some of that, you know, with some of that stuff, with some of the work that we do, with all that kind of stuff. Like, I was just on the radio. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I was on WBEZ here in Chicago, and it was me and Rhymefest. And for those of you who may not know who Rhymefest is the co-writer of Jesus Walks with Kanye. He's the co-writer of Glory with Common and John Legend. He's a Grammy winner. He's a Golden Globe winner. He's an Oscar winner. And dude's doing all right for himself. And both he and I were talking about the same subject on there. I come home and I have to worry about trying to get a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Because I'm so it's just like it's funny. It's one of those things that, you know, for good or bad, you know, bonds a lot of us creatives and all that kind of stuff, because we understand We understand that that world.
And it is what it
People
is.
don't see that. People say, "Oh, you're making a film and you're talking to all these guys and you're on the radio, man. Cool, yeah, you're really doing it." Yeah, but I come home and have to worry about how I'm paying my phone bill.
I had to walk to the radio station.
I did. I took the train down there because I was too cheap and didn't want to pay for parking at Navy Pier.
Hell no.
This is expensive.
Yeah, parking is. If you want to make a lot of money,
That's what Rahm Emanuel did.
do one of two things, or both if you can. One,
Parking lot.
one, yeah, buy a parking lot downtown Chicago, and write a book about how to become rich. Those are the two things that'll get you there, guaranteed.
So write a book about how to open a parking lot.
Yeah,
Do that too.
yeah. So 3 things.
But I mean, in a way, what you're describing here about, you know, choosing the life of being a creative and struggling financially and all. I mean, in a way, that's sort of setting a baseline for what you will and won't do, you know, ethically. I mean, there's just tons of other things any of us could be doing that could make a lot more money. And does it really just come down to I can't do that, or I don't have the skills to do that, or is it a choice that I don't want to do that? And that doesn't even necessarily mean that they're moral or unethical, but it certainly has something to do with like being truthful to yourself and kind of following your own desires and, you know, your own moral compass.
Or is that one of the reasons why artists are starving? Like if you look at it as a business person, you're going to take that money. And that's exactly what Nicole was saying. You know,
Yeah,
she said it in a hilarious way.
That's hilarious.
I do believe she said sorry about your penis, but
Yeah.
but that's, I mean, she has that built in to where she's like, I don't care. I'm not gonna club baby seals, but if you have money, I'm gonna do whatever it is that you want me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be why a lot of us are out here struggling.
Well, I think part of that is definitely with me and working on the Midway project, because there's at least 2 people very early on in the process who were very excited to potentially get behind the project financially for a lot of money. And as anybody who's in the filmmaking business and that kind of stuff knows, like, all that stuff is, some of the stuff you got to take with a grain of salt, and it more than likely will never pan out, but you never know. But I flat out said that I'm not interested because they wanted to push the story agenda for it, and they were looking for it to to tell a story so they could make money off of it. And I can't fault them for that. If they want to invest in something, they want to make their money back. I'm not going to be mad at that. But at the same time, I'm not telling the Kanye West story. I'm not, pay me to do a biography on Kanye, a documentary on Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm doing a documentary on Chicago hip hop, he's a part of that. He's not the story.
Right.
So, I could probably be a lot less stressful right now had I done that. But in my mind, I know that I'm not doing the right thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you don't have a peanut butter jelly sandwich right now. No.
There you go. There you go.
Take you nowhere.
Nope.
No, but the payoff is the control and then the end goal, like you said earlier tonight. It's the ending. It'll pay off,
Yeah.
Right.
And
it'll be worth
the
it.
inspiration, that inspiration part, that inspiring part, somebody's going to see it, 20 years from now. It's going to be what got them into hip hop.
Yep.
Yep. I truly believe that.
Man, guys, I didn't know you were bringing me on such a dark downer of an episode here.
We go deep, son. Hashtag make that porn.
Man, just making it weird.
Anywho. Are we good here?
I'm good.
Yeah.
There's a thing we need to do though.
A lot of thoughts in there.
Thoughts.
Thoughts.
It makes you think about.
Oh, Charlie, you're so straight.
Yeah, it makes me think about you called Ryan your side chick today.
It's not my side piece.
Yeah, then you went old school with it. You probably was wearing a Kango when you said that.
doing it. Wow.
Yeah, they got that little side piece in Chicago.
All right. Let's go ahead and liven this bad boy up by going to.
What we do?
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
A lot of pressure this week, Carlos.
Thank you, Jackin.
Every day's a good day when you paint.
Yeah, son.
Carlos, a lot of pressure this week.
This week we're going to talk about
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try with that.
Zygor Samaniego.
Let's go see if he follows up with something good this week. It's hard to be in this spot.
Zygor.
Boom, son.
Okay.
Zygor, 3D Illustrator. Oh, Behance. Yeah. So my man gets down on the 3Ds, and you'll see I'm a fool. I'm a fool for things like this. Cute, a little outlandish, properly lit. Look at that bouquet. He's got little videos and such. Look at how cute this is. Son. Come on, son.
It's a pretty cute thing.
Come on, son.
Cute.
He does letters. Look at. Come on, son. Makes me want to go get a chocolate dipped
What?
treat.
With some jalapeno.
Oh, yeah.
He pooped himself.
Excuse me?
That guy looked like he pooped himself.
Look at. So, yeah, this dude, he gets after it. Look at it. He's a fish in a fish bowl, but the fish barely fits in there.
Little motion graphics there over there. A little
poof. Right?
yeah, a little.
Okay, moving on. Look at little beasts eating other little beasts. Talk about porn.
Wait, what? Wow.
What is that? That's disgusting.
He's got a bone coming out of his head.
That's disgusting.
Is that leg bone?
This is just getting weird.
It fits perfectly with today's theme.
Everything.
Look at, huh? This guy's name is Huh? If you're listening on iTunes, this character is an ear with teeth and eyeballs or blackheads.
Yeah,
Yeah, how cute.
Whatever, what have you.
Uh-oh. This is what week-old ramen looks like. Ramen and coffee beans.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is getting a little... Look at that. Whoa, easy.
Where'd you find this one?
I almost went old school. Look,
Was this Instagram or was this?
No, this is on Instagram, but I found him on Behance.
Behance.
So yeah, this dude's got really cool 3D skills. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not one for, like, everyone's going like crazy robotics and all kinds of rusty stuff, blah blah blah. Not that this doesn't have texture, but it's got a little bit of a cute.
Oh, look at that! Look at that Roman sculpture.
Yeah. So, Instagram.com/Zygor, Zigor. And same thing, behance.net/Zygor, ZIGOR. Zygor.
Wow.
Every day is better when you pay.
All right. Find mine here. That was a good one.
Hey, S. Carrillo's in the house. What's up, brother? Long time no see.
Welcome, welcome. Hold on. Technical difficulty.
Oh, by the way, it's not S. Carrillo, Steve. Hey, Steve. What's going on, brother?
All right.
There we go. Attaboy.
You got something. I just had to pull it up from my huge
Easy.
folder.
Mhm.
Easy.
It was cool. I got so much
Mhm.
goodness in this folder. It's
Yeah.
inspiring. All right. Which one do I want though? You want to go with 2D or 3D? Jack, 2D or 3D?
Let's see you do a 2D person.
Boom. There it is. I like when people make decisions. Cool. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Boom. Am I sharing?
Hey, that's cool.
Cool. Good. Jack.
Check your body.
Okay.
Check
Jack,
your body.
Johannes Helgeson.
Thank you for pronouncing it. Yes. Johannes.
Johan.
Johan
Helgeson. I can almost
Helgeson.
hear him talk.
I'm going to guess
Helgeson.
perhaps
Helgeson.
somewhere in the nether regions.
He
He's
is
not. It says
a constant-
Montreal, right?
Oh, he's in Canada. Look at that.
Listen.
No. Wait. From.
Thank you.
Read the
Can I-
parentheses. From
Whose
Sweden.
inspiration is this?
Sweden.
Both of you. Hush.
His name is Johannes.
Yes. He's from Gutenberg, Sweden.
Something tells me he skis.
Wow. He's got really good hair too. You see this?
He likes the chocolates.
But anyway, I love this dude's style, right? So I had a 3D guy. We'll save that for later. And you will like the 3D guy too.
Click on something, Charles.
And yeah. Well, hey.
What?
let me-
That's
let
not
me do
3D?
this. No,
Wow,
this is
he's-
2D.
Pretty good renderer.
Concept artist and illustrator.
Yeah, he's got good rendering skills.
Pretty dope.
There it is. Just so you know. He
That's-
says the light's coming
that's
from
Toon
this
Shader.
way. Light's
That's
coming from
legit.
this way. Yeah.
Look at he's got even his little light thing had a little cute face on it.
Boom. Just so you know, it's all 2D. Yeah. I love this.
That's pretty crazy.
But I pick great artists. It's what I do for this segment.
Okay.
I know.
I love this one. This is like one of my favorite ones. This one here. Just like it. There it is. But I even like the one before he colors too. Like, the
Yeah, that one you could have stopped there.
because it's got like, how you see how it's like half colored? It's almost like he just like took a piece of the red and was like smeared it into the shawl part back there. It's not really painted in, but you see there it's like out the lines here too. It's really cool. Let's keep going. Let's fast forward here so we can see it all. Take it all in. Look at this lighting.
Why are you being dirty, dude?
That one.
Oh, hold up. Click on that snake face, dude. That was
Snake-
cool.
Snake face dude. This one?
Left, far left. Black and white.
This one? Ooh.
What is
so much
this?
of them. What is this? This
That's
is
cool.
Space Crew Volume 1, inspired by Galaxy Quest and
Okay.
Gotta love him. Gotta love that. This dude's a nerd too. I like it. And there's it's got a couple of them here, Jack. This is a good pick. It's a couple different ones here.
Good pick, Jack.
Good one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Give his props. Carlos and Doug. Catch up.
Mhm.
He also likes to paint the girls too. But I like this one too. Look at this. This is like Mangy Dog, CDC Heavy Metal. Made for the Character Design Challenge group on Facebook. There's a Character Design Challenge group on Facebook. This is how I find stuff. Now I got to find that Facebook page. It's cool.
Good
Well,
pick,
look
Jack.
Look at
Francis
this.
feel there.
Look at this. So look at he almost well, maybe he doesn't. I would say he loses some of it, but that's because of the lighting, I guess. So like the
Yeah, he
chains-
loses all the line quality, but
Well, I guess he's taking it out, right?
he
He's
took
not
the chains out. Yeah. Well, no, they're there. They're just
No, they're
super
there.
faint.
right. So, but he just doesn't show the lines at the end, right?
Yeah.
So he's painting in it and then like hiding the lines,
But he spent an awful lot of time on the line weight just to get rid of them.
right?
Look at that dude's tattoo. Ooh, Battle Chasers.
Yeah.
I love Battle Chasers.
Battle Chasers is great. It's one of my
All
favorite.
right.
Got me doing art.
Don't get out of hand.
What?
Nothing. I was
Battle
just
Chasers?
trying to, I was
Yeah,
just
probably.
Aren't they finally going to close that out? Didn't they get
He
Kickstarter?
did a Final Fantasy style, tactic style game.
Oh, a
Battle
game.
Ch- yeah, he did a game for it, and it's got like, it's like the old school like turn-based. Look at this one. Look at this one.
I love those looser renderings.
Yeah, this is like feels like I've seen a Photoshop brush for this. I'm just kidding. No, this is cool. It's almost like it's
He did that entire thing with sweat and spit.
Look at this. He has a lot of different stuff. Look at the lighting on this one.
Yeah.
I really like this guy. I didn't even go through. I saw him and then I instantly copied and like pasted it into my favorites and didn't look at the rest of them until now on purpose. And then he has some of this old like just look like this is probably like his concept work from work or whatever, but it seems a lot more tighter and to the point. But yeah, it's really cool. Last one. Nice. He does this like Wasteland 2 portraits. I think that's a game. All right. That's
There
it.
you have it.
Oh, that's a good. Is that Disney? No, no.
No,
Yeah.
son.
Django Reinhardt cartoon.
Maybe. I don't know who that is. Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Hey, easy.
No, that's fine. It's cartoon.
Ryan said he didn't want to have nothing to do with that.
Oh, dang. Check him out, guys. Yo, what's the name again, Jack? Oh yeah, I've had this as my background before. Look at this guy. Look at that. That's awesome. I would model that one. I would like this to be a good model.
Do that. That looks
Let me
like
say
that
Do
looks
it.
like a futuristic mechanic fixing an alien's busted space vehicle. If I ever did see one.
Nice. No, we could. Oh, I had an idea for that way to turn it on its head too. For that, I'll tell you about it later.
Boy, how you got 2,083 alerts?
Oh, you know what that is?
Alerts?
Yeah, because I tell you, I link a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Look at a lot of stuff during the week. So these are people all I follow.
Charlie's eyes be dried straight open, just like
Dude, like
looking at ArtStation.
So when I come back and I got
Monica's like, "Why aren't you blinking?"
I
Charlie's
need
like,
inspiration.
"I
I just got a bunch of people that need to say, "Yo, this dude you looked at last year got new stuff up,"
can't." Nice.
and this other guy that was really amazing has weird shark stuff up, which is weird. Oh, yeah, he does all this futuristic stuff. I'm not in the mood for that. Let's go back. Next. I just did.
All right,
Boom.
Jack, you gonna go?
Yes.
Jack, welcome back, Jack, to Artist
Uh-huh.
Inspiration. Welcome back. Glad that you didn't want to
All right.
go, so let's hear your way.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This here is called, I don't even know how to say his name, Iran Alborer.
You
I'm
make me
sorry,
sound
dude.
like you sound like that Key and Peele.
Iran.
Yeah.
Iran.
Hey, Ryan.
Iran. Is it Iran? I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce this name. But E-R-A-N.
Iran. I thought he was tired.
A-L-B-O-H-E-R. He's on the
He must
card
have been late.
Instagram. So this is also 2D, but there's some stuff in here that's looking real 3D.
I don't know.
Nice
That
and
looks
rendered
3D AF.
No, it's not.
Wow.
So he's also got some how-to process drawings.
But they know you're talking about it, so let me show you this process real quick because Carlos is gonna say something.
Yeah, like that looks like some shaven hair right there.
Well, how did they? And they look at the nose,
yeah, lots of texture. I think he took the Aaron Blaze class. He's using some elephant texture in there.
Yeah.
Everybody just goes, yeah.
I got about 2 or 3 of his videos.
That monkey looks hilarious.
So he's got all these cool character designs, and then he's got some more scenery type of stuff. That's definitely some Aaron Blaze inspiration going on here. But he's still pretty legit.
Yeah.
And then he's got these cool environments that get a little bit more cartoony and abstract, which I really like. So he's got some diversity in his style, which I do like.
Little trees.
And then even this kind of looks a little 3D. He's got some good rendering skills for sure. And then we've got some black and white stuff.
That's just terrifying. Look at that rabbit.
Where he's making some demonic Pokemon up in here.
No, that could be a thing. What if that was a thing, but instead you can fight? It wasn't like random, but you fight other people's in the area.
Charlie?
No, but then the Pokemon eats your other person's Pokemon, so you don't have it anymore. It's like the weird Dark Souls version of Pokemon, where like some 7-year-old can steal all your.
So check him out. ERAN. ALBOHER. I'm not even. I can't.
His name is not just Aaron.
It could be. It could be.
Aaron.
Could be.
So the Aaron's in the back of the class. It's Aaron.
Alboher.
No, Aaron.
Alboher.
Look at these witches.
Alboher.
Look at these.
I hardly knew her.
Dude, I like the witches. On the left. The one on the left. He did really good with angular stuff, like.
Yeah, he's pushing weird proportions and kind of angular stretching and it's good stuff. Yeah, so nice. Check it out. Link will be in the show notes.
How'd you find him?
Don't worry about it.
Google search. Ooh. Jack is like, I went to lunch with them.
Jack, Jack is on his swagger this week. He's like, don't worry about it. Stop asking grown folks questions. That's what he gave me. He just sunned me. Don't worry about it. He said it in the nicest, direct way possible. And if I didn't say anything, we would have missed it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, son. Hey Ryan, do you want to showcase anyone that you may know?
Sure.
Yeah, Ryan's getting involved. Yeah.
Normally I would like to get somebody who's a little lesser known, give him a little bit of exposure. But that I've been following this guy for a long time. He's a photographer, and he does a lot of work with Havas, a creative agency here in Chicago, a bunch of other different people. But let's see if I get my screen share on.
We got a new project manager at work that used to work at Havas. Shout out to Rudy. Welcome to the team.
Shout out PM. Yeah, son.
So
we haven't had any project managers to talk to us here.
So Jason N. Peterson on Instagram is just an amazing photographer. He's got 1 million followers, so it's not like dude needs exposure from any of us. But
you might be surprised what Sketchzone can do.
Talk to you.
Hell yeah!
But I mean, just looking at the guy. So everything that he does is black and white, and it's just incredible work.
Why
doesn't he have anything? Why doesn't he have any brown stuff?
I don't know. But even something like this from Lollapalooza from last weekend is just. I mean, anybody who knows photography knows that it's a lot of patience, a little bit of luck. But I mean, this guy just constantly
and a trigger happy finger.
Yeah.
So
just constantly gets the shots.
How many shots did you take at Lollapalooza last weekend? That'd be a question. Like that.
That's a real good question.
I don't
That's a
care
One.
about the good ones. How many shots did
Yeah.
you take?
Took
One.
one.
You saw those pictures I took? I took it one. That'd be the badass. Right? And
But
then he
yes.
pulls up the camera. Gotcha.
So yeah, as you can see, I mean, the guy is he's got just
Yeah, he's cool.
he's got a lot of really, really good stuff. So that's
We should have him on the
Jason.
show.
Jason M. Peterson.
Mm.
He's from out that way too,
I
huh?
wonder, does he shoot in color and chooses to process all the stuff in black and white?
I'm
Or
assuming.
he got one of them old school cameras?
Nah.
Yeah, purest. One of those old ones.
Yeah. I love this one of Wrigley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So anyway, that's
I like it.
And you know him, Ryan, or no?
I do not know him personally. I know some people that know him. I have not personally met him. So
Sweet.
Well, thank you for that, sir.
That's good.
I think that's it. I think we're done here. Everything on my notepad is scratched out.
It's a good sign.
It's a very good sign. Hey Ryan, if people are looking for your online, where can they find you?
you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at 278media. The numbers 278 and media. See, I got that down. Unlike Risky, when we do Midway Radio, he can never remember his Twitter and Instagram handles every single
Like-
week.
Really?
But that's another story. And then Midway, if anybody's looking for information on Midway, you can go to midwaydocumentary.com and that'll give you links to everything.
And check out that Patreon.
Yeah. Please support whatever you can. $1, $2, $3 a month. Whatever
Get
you
this
want to
kid
do.
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I'd appreciate it. You can go,
And
you can
me
go
a
brag
cup
that-
of coffee.
Yeah.
My big crabby.
Chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth.
Yeah, this
Creamy.
man knows what he's
Oh,
talking about. Yeah.
But then again, beggars can't be choosers. So.
right.
Sure you can.
Right.
You don't eat it.
Charles getting all uppity about your peanut butter.
I don't want all that peanuts in your peanut butter. Look, grind that shit up. Sorry.
No, get crunchy. Stop being a little sissy. Get
No, 'cause then it gets
peanut
stuck in
butter.
It's stuck in your teeth, so every time you bite down, now you got like a peanut like invading the
Invading.
inner crevices of your gums. Like that's not right.
So you chew with your gums? Boy, go get some big boy peanut butter and
Hey,
shut
Charlie.
the hell
If people are looking to find
up.
Jack, keeping it moving along.
Thank you. Because we were about to dive into a place we were gonna go.
Hey, Charlie, if people are looking for your soft ass gums,
What? I'm gonna have to pause you on that. If you want to find my artwork online, you can find me at cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. Recently put some new stuff up on ArtStation. So it's artstation.com/Charlie B. As the handle says, Twitter, CBW3. Instagram is CharlieBW3. Almighty Pinterest is CharlieBW3.
Almighty Pinterest.
Check it out. Getting your life. I put new pins up. Got a new mystery page on there for you.
Yeah, I got them new pins, son.
Some pins. Good stuff. Good stuff. New tutorials up. Linking to some
Good
great
stuff.
artists. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Very good.
Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jack, if people are looking for you online, where can they
Oh,
find you?
they can find me at sketchbookjack.com and the username handle sketchbookjack on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and probably other places too.
Ooh.
Pinterest.
Okay. Cool.
Excellent. I'm Carlos Gomez. Just look up Coconut Justice. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Boy, I was hoping.
Look over your shoulder, honey.
I'll be there. Crunchy peanut butter. This is Sketch Zone. Go to sketch.zone. Check out the other 113 episodes we have
That's nuts.
sitting there for you, sitting there waiting for you. I'm talking to you, Steve Carrillo.
Ooh, call it.
I'm talking to you.
He already listened to them all.
And Steve came in just a little bit late. I don't know if you watched the entire show. Steve, we have a new segment. It's called
Every day's a good day when you paint.
We haven't named it yet, but remember this week's drawing exercise. Look at, we have lost Jack.
He's so pleased with himself.
This week's drawing exercise is a futuristic mechanic fixing an alien's busted space vehicle. Okay. And if you have any ideas of what we should name this segment, go ahead and hit us up. We're everywhere.
Yeah,
We're on we have the hotline. We're on Twitter, Facebook. Just if you go to sketch.zone, you can find everyone there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you click the subscribe button so you can get alerted as to when we are online.
Yo. Spit it out. And so when thou.
So as for then thou late,
Yeah,
we shall then foresee thou later.
All right.
Legit wrap it up.
All right, everybody, have a good week.
See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you guys.
Everything is better when you paint.
Every